Hey, this is the Entertainment Advice channel. So what I want to talk about today is Chappell Roan. So when it comes to the question of Chappell Roan, this relatively new artist, at least when it comes to her getting recognition, the question that comes up is the question of, is she overrated? Now, that is what I will be discussing for this video today, okay? And when it comes to the answer if she's overrated or not, the simple answer to the question is no, she is not overrated. She is actually rated perfectly. Now, even though, of course, being a male, a heterosexual male to be more exact, her style of music is not necessarily my favorite. I might like a few songs, but none of her music is something I would follow in extreme depth for obvious reasons, being a heterosexual male. But the truth of the matter is, at the same time, when you listen to her music, you can definitely tell objectively from a musical standpoint that her music is actually decent. It might not necessarily be as good in terms of complexity as music from the past, whether it's 1990s, 2000s, early 2010s, but by today's standards, it's actually pretty decent because the music you can actually tell objectively is decent because she's actually being herself. She's actually not just doing what everyone else is doing. So her sound, in other words, is unique, okay, if you want to use that term. It's not like everyone else who's just, I'm just gonna copy and paste the same exact sounds and this and that. That is all too common in today's world, especially in the field of music specifically for that matter. Her style is actually different and all of her songs sound different, and it gives something fresh to the table instead of it just sounding like just generic crap you hear all the time. So that is simply the truth of the matter about Chappell Roan, okay? And her music is actually relatively unique, so it stands out from the crowd, okay? Unlike a lot of artists like Taylor Swift, who I talked about in another video, another one definitely who is guilty of this, definitely very, very, very guilty of this, would aside from Taylor Swift, if anything, would be Olivia Rodrigo and a lot of other ones in general for that matter, who are very guilty of making music that all sounds the same, particularly Drake. Oh my goodness, let's not even go there, okay? His old music was good, but his new music, not really the greatest in all honesty. But yeah, back to what I was saying about Chappell Roan, she's not like those other artists, she's actually unique for that matter. Okay, she doesn't sound like everyone else who just uses the same freaking sound and the same this, the same that all the freaking time, in all honesty. Her music actually sounds different from what everyone else is doing, and that's simply the truth of the matter when it comes to her music for that matter. She's actually different. She is not just doing what everyone else is doing already, and that's what makes her music stand out, and that's what makes her music different for that matter. She's not just the same cliche person you've heard a bunch of times before, okay? Now, is her music necessarily something that's palatable for everyone? Maybe not necessarily, but at least it's just something different, because all the music you hear on the radio nowadays is just the same freaking sound, the same cheesy ass guitar riff you've heard a bunch of times before, the same exact drum patterns you've heard numerous times before, the same exact corny as hell, that's why I mentioned it 2 times, synth sound you hear, it's just cliche. You hear it all, the same stuff all the freaking time. It's the same shit, the same crap. You hear it all the time, and it kind of gets repetitive and irritating. Even with all the different genres you hear on the radio, they all sound pretty much kind of the same, okay? It's the same stuff, the same this, the same that, all the freaking time, for that matter, to put it bluntly, to be honest with you. So the truth of the matter is, there's nothing special about about a lot of artists' music, but her, at least she stands out. Maybe she might be the next big thing to, if anything, truly represent the new, I mean, the new generation, the new sound that apparently theoretically they're claiming apparently music's going to heal a little bit in the future, foreseeable future. At least if that theoretically happens, she might be a part of that sound. Okay, now obviously her politics are controversial, her being a gay woman, and of course her being extremely pro LGBTQ plus, you know, for that matter, is kind of controversial. And of course, me personally, won't agree with all her politics on things. But when it comes to the music itself, it's actually good. It doesn't sound like anything that makes it sound different. That makes it sound like just crap. Whether it could be something like nostalgia bait, like people like Bruno Mars and several other artists are mad guilty of, where they're just simply trying to recapture the magic of a bygone era, you know, through their music and through the sound they're trying to make, for that matter, through the sound, through what they're doing. The truth of the matter is, when it comes to someone like her, she is not trying to do that, at least for the most part, from what I can see. So it's not nostalgia bait. And her music, all the songs actually kind of sound distinct. It's not the same generic stuff you hear all the time, where it's just so bad that it's not even funny. So the truth of the matter is, that's the truth about her, okay? So her music is good. She stands out. She's not anything that's mediocre or anything like that. So her music's good, okay, to sum things up. Her music is quite decent. So she is not overrated. She is actually rated well. She deserves the praise she is getting. If you were to talk about like how good she is compared to people in the past, like I was getting before, in the past she would have been standard, but by today's standards, she's good. She's good. She's really good. She's really good from the bunch. So that's all so anyway, this is my video. This is off to say. Just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumbs this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is off to say, and simply put it, I'm out. So bye.